Hello, all you lovely YouTubers, and welcome back to another video. Boop 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 boop. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have an intro card, so that's what I got for you guys. So this is basically, you guys had a sneak peek of this painting last week. So what I did for the background was basically paint a solid yellow with a little bit of orange in there, and then I'm using masking fluid to do the patterns of the scales in the background. Once I did the blue, I went ahead and used rubbing alcohol to spread the ink. Now what I did notice about this, and what was really cool, is the more pigment I had on top, if it was really wet, it spread out more than if it was dry. And another thing that I found out is once I put the alcohol down and if I went over it with the brush, it pretty much kept its spot. That alcohol was in the paper, so it kept pushing and beating the water pigment away from the spot of where the rubbing alcohol was. So when I noticed that doing the background with the blue, I then wanted to layer it on top of the red because the contrast wasn't there, so I wanted to put some more darks in the reds. When I was doing this painting, I had no clue what the heck I was doing as far as what I was drawing. The only thing I thought was I needed to do 2 samples of exploring watercolors and using weird techniques that I haven't used before for a class, and then see if I was going to use any in the final. So these were my practice pieces. So when I drew this, I literally had a sketching of a girl stretching in my sketchbook. I drew it down, and then I thought, oh, I'll have her sitting on a flower. And then when I painted the background and did the scales, I'm like, well, now she looks like she's underwater. So let me go ahead and make it like a bed that she's sitting on, that she's just waking up, and maybe she has some awesome familiar sea creature that's passing by that's humongous because it's the sea, so it doesn't matter. And she's waking up to her, familiar waking her up. So that's the story I started coming up with, but I didn't have it beforehand. It pretty much developed as I was painting it. And I was really just having a lot of fun playing with textures, layering, glazing, and having a good time with just messing around and making a mess. So that's where that came across. That's the end result idea of the painting. So that's what it ended up being. Unfortunately, after I painted her hair blue, I pretty much had to pass out because it was really late and I didn't I had to wake up early in the next morning to go to class. So when I did, I finished it there, but I do have a picture of it when it's completely finished, and all you guys missed was the ink. I didn't do any more watercolors. I inked her hair and used a pencil pocket brush to do the hair, and then I inked a little bit of her like weird sea creature bed and tried to point out some of the like weird textures that's in her bed. Then we were supposed to do an aging and cracking on one of the samples that we did. So after that, there's a picture of it with aging and cracking. I thought it looked better on that one than it did on the squirrel and the bird. So I went ahead and threw that in there too, so you guys can see what the so-called final result will be. And I'm really looking forward to painting the final. I sketched it out. I did my value study. I will show you guys that in the video, but I didn't record all that because if I did, these videos would be like forever long. So I will do my best efforts to record as much as I can of the final and hopefully have that up for you guys next week. I'm really excited to show you what techniques I did end up using with it and what I didn't. Between the 2 practice pieces, the rubbing alcohol I've seen other artists use, but I've never used them myself personally, so it was a lot of fun just seeing it happen the way it did. If I don't end up using it in the final, I definitely want to use the rubbing alcohol technique again because it was a lot of fun. So if you guys liked the video, go ahead and leave a like. It helps me out also very, very much. And if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I try to put out a video once a week if I can. And with that, guys, thanks again for staying to the end.